Hi, I'm Lyle Tejan, Parts Manager at Hebron.
Hi, I'm Dwayne Hunke, Parts Manager at Holdridge.
Today we're going to talk about some parts replacement. I'm going to start out here with the row unit here beside me. We're going to start out in the front. Parallel arms. You want to make sure your row unit is tight. You don't have much play side to side. These bushings in here will wear out, causing the row unit to move side to side as you're going through the field if they're wore out. The thing we're going to go down to is the True V blades. XP row units run a 3.5 mil blade with a double row ball bearing in it. To adjust those, you set the contact point at 1.5 to 2 inches. In between the True V blade is a seed tube guard. This helps protect the seed tube from rocks and stuff as you're going through the field. The recommended replacement measurement on this is 3/4 of an inch. These are the standard for the standard row unit. These here are for the ExactEmerge row unit. Same specs as far as replacement for both. Next thing we'll go to is the gauge wheels. You want to adjust these so they're, when you adjust them, to have light contact on the blade at about the operating depth through the field. So say you want to set them 1.5 inches, kind of adjust them so they lightly touch the blade. You can do that by loosening this big bolt here. You got your adjustment bushing in here. It's a threaded bushing, so basically you take your wrench and you turn this to get contact close to the disc and away from the disc. Important thing on these tires is the lip on here, because this actually firms the seed trench, keeps the dirt from falling back into the seed trench and affecting your depth of your seed and placement. Scrapers, True V scrapers are inside here. These are the 1-piece scrapers. We have 2-piece scraper with a tungsten carbide bit for extended wear life. And we also have a rotary scraper. Next thing we'll look into is the rocking arm for your walking gauge wheels. You want to check for wear on these ears here. Make sure they're not wore too far down. That affects seed placement and uniformity in the seed trench. These basically will walk as you're going through the field. If you hit a rock or a root ball of corn or something like that, they'll sit there and rock and give you even placement. On back farther, we got the closing wheel frame. There are bushings in here. You want to make sure that release your tension on your spring, move your closing wheel side to side, make sure there's not very much play in there. That affects how the closing wheels line up with the seed trench. These bushings are replaceable. Replacing the bushing doesn't fix it, then you might have to look at the wear on the closing wheel frame. These holes will get oblong. They do, you just basically replace the frame. Down inside of here, that hooks onto this lever and changes your down pressure on the closing wheels. There's a spring inside here. Look for wear on the hooks. And also there's this cast piece that this hooks to. It's bolted right here on the row unit frame. Check for wear on this hole right here. Closing wheels, basically spin them, wiggle them, check for wear, tightness. If they don't spin freely, you probably got a bad bearing. Look at replacing those. Replace the bearing inside. Closing wheels come in rubber tire, solid tire, and S closing wheels. Over here on this table, got some of the options for the gauge wheels. You have the 4.5 inch wide spoked gauge wheel. Use these if you're planting in damp conditions. You got problems with mud and stuff building up between your gauge wheel and your disc. One of the other benefits of these is if you're replacing the bearing, it's very simple. Pull the snap ring out, drive the bearing out. You don't have to disassemble the wheel like you had to do with the original style gauge wheel with the plastic outer half. Also, we have the same gauge wheels, a spoke gauge wheel in a 3-inch wide, solid and spoked. And also the original Maximerge, Maximerge 2, Maximerge Plus with the water pump bearing.
Hey, I'm going to talk about seed metering units. And the unit we got here right now is our ExactEmerge. First thing to do is go ahead and twist the knob and pull off the plate. What they recommend is to make sure you check both sides and make sure on the wear here, because after a while, if they're not lubricated right, they will wear in here, and you will need to replace them. Coming in from there, you've got your inner seal, which we kind of recommend every year for no more than it costs. Recommend replacing that, because if you got it sitting outside, mice or something can get in there. And then same way with the door seal here, it just pops in and out. And the main thing is just check sure it's not cracked or dry, rotted or anything there. Going more into it, we've got our double eliminator right here. It's a two-piece system. You can kind of see it with the 3-finger and then the plate here. And then what I'll do is I'll go over here to the table, because you can't really see the brush cartridge that's actually goes from here down to the seed tube. Main thing in this system is the belt itself. Is what's going, you can see right here, is what goes straight down. So here's the top of this belt going down into that unit. Main wear on this, a lot of times we haven't seen a lot yet, but it'll start wearing on the side. So they recommend and just double checking. If it is, go ahead and replace it. Not a lot of wear parts on this. This right here, as you can see with the complete unit, is the actual driving part on the top side of the belt. And then as you go down the unit, this part is right down here, and then just all they're wanting you to do is just check your idlers to make sure the bearings are free moving. There are some wear plates in here, so that's also something they want you to check. You've got these pads here. There's 4 pads. Originally they were metal, and now they've gone to a ceramic style. If you can kind of look at it, to be able to tell the wear is once you cannot see that indent, that dot. Once it's flattened out, they recommend to replace those. You can see in here, you got your vibration strip. So the one that's in this unit is a corner one, because you can kind of see the ripples, bubbles on it. What they say is to check and make sure that they're uniform, and there's no wear spots or rough spots or, points missing out of there. And then right here, you can see it's a smooth strip for soybeans, and that's what the difference is. On the double eliminators here, wear-wise, if it's past, what they're measuring here is this little tine. If it's below 17.5 millimeters, to make sure you replace it. And then on your outer eliminator, you can kind of see it in there. Where they're measuring is right here on this lip to the outside. If it's below 8 millimeters on the thickness, they recommend replacing it. Right now I'm in front of a Maximerge vacuum planter metering system. And what I'm showing you here is the graphite that they use on the plates before the season to help eliminate wear on the plate itself. When it comes to talc recommendations, on this, the straight talc is mainly for the Maximerge Plus. On the ExactEmerge planters, what they're using now is what they call an 80-20 mix of talc to graphite.
Thanks for watching our video today. Hope the information we give you will provide some helpful insight to repairing your planter.